be compassionate, loyal in your love, that's what he's talking about, is that we have to have mercy. Because as people, we're not very merciful. I just watched the movie the other night, and at the very end of the movie, they basically said, if we don't have war, and we don't have things like this, then that makes us not human. So if we're human, it's called The Invasion. It's really stupid. I didn't like it at all. But anyway, listen. All that stood out to me was like, so basically you're saying that if we're not attacking one another, if we're not after one another, then we're really not human anymore. And I started thinking to myself, you know what? It's not bad. I don't know if I really want to be human. Maybe I want to be above human. Maybe I want to be a Christian. Maybe I want to have mercy on people. You know, because think about it. How many times are we're not merciful people at all? How many of you guys can drive in here? How many of you have ever seriously considered chasing someone down to cut you off or honk the horn at you? Yes. Some of you, yeah. I'm not asking if you've actually done it. I don't want to know these things. But I'm saying, we do it. We're not a merciful people. How many of you have ever been cut off in line at a grocery store with a grocery cart?
They're mean.
How many of you have rammed people with your grocery cart? Alright. It's like, oh, sorry. But listen, we are not a merciful people. Because when people mistreat us or do wrong to us, we want to get back. We don't get back small. You know, here's the whole thing. There's a game they used to play, and I'm sure you guys play too. It's like tag or whatever, where it's basically you punch someone and you get to punch them back. You go around the circle. Everybody ever play this game? Right. But listen, what happens is usually someone takes it too far. It's like when you wrestle. Someone always, it starts out, oh, I'm just playing. The next thing you know, you're in a pile driver. And you're just like, what just happened? It went too far. Because we're not merciful people. We always take it the next step. And God's saying, what if you had mercy? What if instead of taking it to you? See, it just happened right there. That's what happens. But listen, when we start going into that cycle, it becomes a vicious cycle. We have to learn how to stop it with mercy. And mercy says, wherever you've been, whatever you've done, I'm going to show love to you. I'm going to take you exactly where I know we're rehashing common ground, but I want you guys to get it. That's why we've been building up for this for a couple months to understand that God wants you to have mercy on you. It's not about getting revenge. It's not about taking what's owed you. It's none of those things. It's about having mercy. You know, some of the greatest testimonies you've ever seen are people that have basically been wronged or downtrodden by someone come back and say, you know what, I offer forgiveness. I offer the mercy that you didn't show me. We've got the... Notice it's not just like mercy, it's love mercy. God's saying that we have to be compassionate and loyal in our love. So understand, guys and girls, whenever you're out there and you're dating someone and you say you love them, and you're not compassionate and loyal in your love, it's not love. When you're a friend and you're not compassionate and loyal in that, it's not love. God's given us a guidelines basically saying, you have to provide compassion, there has to be a loyalty there. We have to be obedient to that. Here's the third thing that I want you to get tonight, is to walk humbly. So we got to act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly. Listen, we are also a prideful people. We all think we're good at something, we all think we have different things, but basically, we get to the point where we take ourselves so seriously. Guys, listen. This is what I'm talking about right here. We take ourselves so seriously that we think that we don't need help. How many times has someone been, you know, even in a situation like this, when someone's trying to share the Word of God with us, we're busy thinking about our iPods or our cell phones or what we're going to be doing after this, instead of saying, you know what, I need to be humble. Maybe I can get something from this. Whether it's Brian, whether it's Lee, whether it's someone else, whether it's big church, whether it's in school, that maybe they actually know something their teachers do. But we're not a humble people, are we? No, we're like, oh, I know this. Brian, you telling me something I know already. Don't play. I don't want to hear it. When we say things like that, we're just like, oh, no, I've got this. Or we don't need help. Guys are the worst about this. We will pick up something 10 times too heavy for us just to prove something. We're just like, oh my God, it's no problem. They're like, you okay? You know, I'm fine. Later on, you can feel your lower back. It's like, I made a mistake. You know, but you won't admit it. Because we're not a humble people. And God's saying, what if we walk in humbleness and says, I can't do it? What if we walk in humbleness and says, you know what? All the things that you're trying to teach me, maybe I need to learn. But we won't admit it when we're wrong. You know what? How many of you know to something, even in the last 3 days, someone said something to you and you told them they were wrong, but they end up being right. You ever had that happen, right? It happens every day. Every day happens. I mean, here's a prime example, the cookie example. I use the cookie example because it's true. To this day, how many of you take the cookies off the hot tray as soon as they come out of the oven? Even though you know better. I mean, we know that it hurts. Quit hitting each other. All right, listen. We know better. From the cookie tray to the mouth, we know it's hot. We've learned this over the years, but we still take the cookie tray because we are not a humble people to admit that we're wrong. We think to ourselves, it's going to be different this time. Ow, it's going to be different this time. Ow. Ow, right? Because we are stupid. We are not humble. We are prideful. And we say to ourselves that this is going to be different this time, and I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to listen to you, parent. I'm not going to listen to you, friend. I'm not going to listen to you, boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm not going to listen to you because I got a handle on it this time. I got a handle on the next cigarette. I got a handle on the next dope. I got the handle on the next time we have sex. I got a handle on pornography. I got a handle on being violent. I got a handle on driving too fast. I've got a handle on all these different things. And you can't tell me to stop. But really God's saying, listen, maybe you need help. Maybe you need to walk humbly and say that instead of trying to do it yourself, maybe you need me. Maybe you need to just hand it over. Instead of saying, I'm just going to finish half the cereal box, I'm really committed to you, God. I'm going for the long haul. I'm going to get down to the bottom of this. Because every time, God, I just try a couple bites of you. I'm just like, oh, I like Jesus. I like Jesus. Jesus is my friend, right? And then all of a sudden, we're just like, I got this. I don't need to be humble. Fire alarm's going off, we're all going to die. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, don't worry.
You're serious?
No. Sorry, don't worry about it. Listen, the thing of it is, guys, is we have to be humble. We have to be humble to this. Don't take yourself so seriously that you forget to take God seriously. All right? And I want you to understand these three things because these are three things that will change your life. And tonight I've got one more thing I want to do, and I'm just going to share it real quick, and then I'm going to ask some of you maybe to share something. But why do we believe in God? And here's why. Because we've seen Him work in ways we've never seen by work. I'm just going to share just a tiny bit of my testimony real quick, just so you hear it. Because I want you to understand that where you're coming from is no different than other people. I grew up with a dad that was verbally abusive. I grew up with a dad that was violent. I grew up with a dad that cheated on my mom multiple times. I grew up in a house where my mom wanted to separate from my dad, but never could do it. You know, I grew up to where they were up to the point of divorce. At the very last second, the last month of it, she reconciled and brought him back into the home, and all I wanted to do was hate my dad. You guys been there? Yeah. All I wanted to do was hurt somebody growing up. I had a violent streak in me. I was very angry all the time, and I finally got to go to church. When I went to church, I turned my life over to God, but within the next week, the people I ran around with were Christians, and they were drinking and smoking and having sex, and I wasn't even doing any of that, and I was like, forget that. If you're doing all these bad things, why do I want to be a Christian? So I turned away from God. And the only time I ever darkened the doors of a church away, bless you, was because there was a beautiful girl around, you know? And so my whole life was based around working and being angry, and all I wanted to do, I got to a point in my life where all I wanted to do was fix people's problems, but I wanted to fix them the wrong way. If someone was hurting, I'd go like, I'll go beat them up for you. That's what I did. All lives. I was angry. And I didn't talk to my parents. I was very disrespectful to them. I hurt my younger brother a lot. I hurt your younger brothers and sisters just because you're angry at something else. And I got to the point where basically I was desperate. And I'll never forget one football game. I took a poor little guy, this little bitty, skinny, scrawny guy with glasses who was about this tall. And he said something to me, and I beat that guy. I beat him so bad that he was bloody. It broke his glasses. I always hate telling this story. And I looked at him on the ground. Sorry, I'm a little emotional because I think back on these things. I looked at him on the ground and I said, I can't believe I just did that. So I went to a shed. There's the shed out back at the football game. The whole game's going. I went in that shed, the tool shed, and I cried. For an hour and a half, I just wept in there. I was like, this isn't right. This isn't who I want to be. But I was so used to being angry that I didn't know what else to do. So I just kept being angry. And when it came time to go to college, all I wanted to do was go in the Army. Because guess what I want to do in the Army? I want to hurt people, right? I want to make things right by hurting people. Because that's what you do. You hurt the people that hurt people, right? That's how you fix things. And so that was my goal. I'd go into this and I'm going to do these things. And then I got a phone call from an aunt that said, you need to come to college. And I was like, I don't want to go to college. My aunt worked at the Christian University, an American Bible College. And I was like, I don't want to go there. I'm not a Christian. phooey, I'm not going to that place. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, and as a miracle of God, I got out of going into the Army, and I went, I said, I'm going to do one semester here, and then I'm going to go get a job because I want to teach English, because I like to read. Because when you're angry and you have nowhere else to go, you escape through books, right? Sometimes any readers in here? All right, good, a few people, all right. So that's what I decided I was going to do. But I got to college and I started being around these people, and these people started showing me compassion. They started showing me mercy. They started showing me an understanding I'd never seen before in my life. And it opened my eyes to something different. And I said, God, maybe this makes sense. Maybe this Jesus thing, after all this time, but even at a Bible university, Bible college, I found people who were just like me. Love the devil, let's party, woo! You know, and so I did all that stuff too. And then I slowly but surely, God got a hold of me again. And He put people on my path that didn't let go, that didn't stop, that loved me with justice. You know, acted justly, they loved with mercy, and they walked humbly. And said to me, it's time to make a change. And slowly but surely I began to pay attention, humbly to my professors, humbly to my friends, humbly to people that love me, and God began to sink in. And you know what? It showed me that justice and mercy wasn't done with a fist. It was done with an open arm. And it changed my life. And whenever that happened, guys, I began to understand what that truly meant. Why I wanted to believe. I didn't want to believe because someone told me. I didn't want to believe because it's the right thing to do. I didn't want to believe. I wanted to believe because it changed me. You know? And I've seen people over and over again changed by God because of the opportunity to believe. I came to know Christ. I came to have a beautiful wife. I came to love God so much that He called me into ministry, and no one would have ever thought that. Trust me. You know, that have known me in the past, and I mean, that's one of the beautiful testimonies when people come up to me and when I first became a Christian and said, "You want to be a youth pastor?" I was like, I don't want to be. God's making me. So it changed my life. It changed who I am. And guys, that's the beauty of Jesus Christ. It's the simple changing power of a God that loves us so much that He takes away all that sin, all that anger, all that nastiness in our life, and wipes it clean and says, I love you. And I want you to treat people the same way. It changed my life. So